So I've been creating content. I've been in the online space for 6 years. I went from affiliate marketing to now having my own offer as a content agency owner. And one of the things I wish I had 6 years ago, trust me, I've made plenty of mistakes, had some wins, but mostly dumbass mistakes. And one of the things I wish I had 6 years ago, starting off and going through my journey, was clarity. So today I wanted to make a video straight off the cuff, no teleprompter, just you and me and my whiteboard on my iPad. I want to talk about having clarity about some things. And we're going to start off with some very basic online world stuff. If you ever heard the term digital marketing. Now, if you're saying, man, E, I know all this stuff. I've been at this for a while. Great. Stay. Maybe you'll correct me on some things I might get wrong so others in this video can learn, make a comment on it. Or you might learn some things you never knew before, giving you clarity. Because what I wish I had 6 years ago when I started was more clarity about what digital marketing was, what the heck making content was, how do I make content, how do I understand. I just had lack of clarity as I'm going through my journey. Now, digital marketing is you are an online marketer, okay? You're an online marketer. Online could mean website, Google, social media. What's one more? Website, Google, social media, radio. That's what it is. Online marketing is anything airwave-like, online, internet. You're just digital, okay? And your means of marketing is through your medium of marketing or means is typically through video, writing, like a blog, okay? Or making a radio ad. We'll stick with the radio. Just a few examples. So digital marketing, you're an online marketer, website, social media, radio, anything online or some sort of waves or internet world, right? And your means of doing that is through video, writing like a blog, and a radio ad, just to give you some examples, okay? Now, you as a digital marketer, this is what we call now, when you do video, writing, radio ad, you are a content marketer in essence. You're a content marketer. Now, once you establish this and you understand what digital marketing is, because digital marketing is very broad. Now, let's talk about specifics in terms of digital marketing. Let's talk business models. And there's two main types that are in the world today when it comes to digital marketing that you'll see online. Two business models. One is affiliate. I don't know if I spelled affiliate right. Marketing. And affiliate is promoting other people's products. And then they give you a kickback. They give you a link and you get paid every time somebody uses that link to buy their product. This is seen typically when you watch a YouTube video, you look up a certain product or you're trying to solve a specific problem. Somebody says, hey, click on that link in my bio, click on that link in the description, and that'll lead you to buying the product. That's affiliate. The other business model is products service, aka your own offer. Your own offer. As an example, for me, my product or service is my content agency offer. So you have affiliate where you promote other people's products. You get the kickback once people click on the link that is given to you by that company. And then the other business model is pretty much product or services, aka your own offer. Okay. That's digital marketing in a nutshell. Digital marketing is most simplest forms as we know it today in the online world. Now, how does all this work now that we have this understanding? Now you're telling yourself, okay, I'm a content marketer. I'm getting into the online world business. How does this all work? Okay, because now you are a content marketer. Now that you understand that you're a content marketer, you have two choices now. What business model am I going to do? Am I going to promote somebody else's product, which is affiliate, or am I going to have my own offer? Your own product or service, okay? And this is where things get tricky. It's like, do I setting the cart before the horse kind of situation? It's kind of like going to college, taking prereqs. This is what the content world is like. It's like going to college, undecided. So you take prerequisite courses until you find out more about what you like and about yourself before you decide on a major. Or some people go to college having already decided their major. You get the reference there. So if you were to go into content marketing or the content world undecided, you just create content. Undecided about your business or what you're going to do, what business model you're going to choose, you just create content and you'll eventually figure it out. If you already know that you either want to have your own offer or you want to promote other people's offer, then you just create content that pertains to that brands that you're affiliated with, pertains to their product or service. Okay. Either way, what you need to have, no matter what you decide to do in terms of your business model, you need to have traffic, aka leads, aka people to buy your stuff, customers. So you need to create content somewhere. Let's say social media. You need to create content. Okay. We've got that established. So the other big decision you need to make is, what do I want to talk about in my content? That's what we call a niche. And all this is, what problem do I want to solve? What problem do I want to solve? What solution can I offer to solve that problem, right? So whether you are an affiliate to somebody else's company and they affiliate with you to sell their offer or their product or service, that product or service or offer is going to solve the problems you're going to be talking about in your niche, in your content. Or if you have your own offer, which is the other business model, your product or service is going to be the solution to the niche or problem solving you're doing in your content. Boom, that's it. Now, once you have that established, once you pick a niche, whether you go on an undecided journey to create content until you figure some stuff out, or whether you already know what niche or offer you're going to have, you need to make content. You need to make content. There's no way around that. You need content, whether video, or writing, blogging. And this is done in two ways: organically, or actually, I should do this instead of that. Crossroad. Organic content or paid. And if you're brand new, I would highly recommend organic. Understood? Organic. Because it's not that one is better than the other. They both require strategy and learning. Okay. It's just that one, you're going to pay with your time, which is organic. You're going to pay with time. In this, you're going to pay with your money. If you have money like nobody's business and you can pay to have paid ads, have at it. You still need a strategy. It's still going to be a learning curve. It's still going to take a while. But if you don't have money, I would suggest organic. Either way, it's going to cost you. It's either going to cost you time or money. You just depend which one you can afford to pay. All right. We've established that we're going to go with organic content. So what do we know so far? That digital marketing is online marketing. There's two business models behind it. There's affiliate, which is somebody else's offer, or your own offer. We've established that makes you a content marketer, that you're going to need to use a means of marketing your product or service. We've established that you have to decide on a niche, what problem you want to solve. We've decided that you're going to create content around that problem that leads people to your solution. Okay. Now, one of the biggest struggles that people have is selecting a niche. There's a lot of problems people have when they first start off in content. There's not a lot of clarity. But one of the biggest problems is selecting a niche and making content around that niche. Okay. This is probably one of the biggest crises, particularly content, because it's hard, because you don't have clarity. It's a crisis. And it was a crisis for me. And there's not a clear solution. The solution is all upon you, okay? Because it's easy to pick a business model. It's easy to buy a course, buy a program, get affiliated with somebody, set up all the systems in place to take in payments, to set up a website, do all that back end stuff. That's easy. That's all technical stuff. The hardest part is getting traffic through content, because everybody at first sucks at content. And the big culprit to sucking at content is just having experience, understanding, and clarity around this area here. Niche and content around that niche. You just don't know how to speak to the person you want to speak and solve their problem through video, through content. It's just that simple. So what we do is we get into this business. We try so hard at creating content, try to see what works for others, all that stuff. We make so many mistakes and it doesn't work. And we're wondering why it doesn't work for us, but it's working for the bigger creators you see. Okay. And I'm going to touch on that in just a second. But let me just show you let me just talk about niche and content around that niche. Okay. There's no clear answer for this. I can write down in simple terms, technical terms, what a niche is, how to find a niche, and how to create content around that niche. And you still won't get it because you got to walk the walk. So I want to touch on, I'm going to hit that sentiment throughout this video. You got to walk the walk. So because you got to walk the walk, right? So before I touch niche and content around that niche, because you have to walk the walk, when it comes to content in the online world, the biggest mindset shift. This is my first time using this. I didn't even know I could scroll up like this and scroll down. I should have kept that. I'll do that next time. So the biggest mindset shift you're gonna have to make. The biggest mindset shift is this. In simple terms, it's gonna take a long time. 5, 10, 15 years. So unless you have some fuel in the fire, like a big reason why you want to start online, don't do it, because it's going to be a long journey, particularly with content. The business is relatively easy. It's the content that is the hardest part of this business because you suck at first. And even when you start to get better, you still suck, and you got to test, and you got to keep improving. You got to keep up with the times. You got to have a certain skill set and mindset to do this. And the creators you see doing it that are so successful, they went through their sucky phase. You just don't know. Okay. So you have to have a big reason why. And once you have a good reason, that's going to keep you around until it works. And you're not going to know when it works. You just have to keep going. Once you have that, then you're going to go through pretty much stages of being a creator. Don't worry, we're going to get to niche and content around that niche, but I want to set you up for that with this. You're going to go through stages of being a creator. I call this stage 1. You're going to suck really bad. And I want you to get comfortable at sucking really bad. This is where you're not going to know how to show up on camera. You're going to be awkward. You're not going to know how to speak. It's going to take you 5 hours to do one script, 5 hours to record one video, all of that stuff. Lighting is sucky. Your equipment sucks. You don't know how to use your phone. Your audio probably sucks. It's going to be bad. You're not going to know what good content looks like. You're going to think it's good in your head and it's going to flop. You might edit a video for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours thinking that one's going to break, and it's not. That's it. And you have to settle in sucking because you have to let all that bad content out, right? Now, you might have certain skill set. In the beginning, I would call you are skill poor, and you're probably like me if you worked a 9 to 5, time poor. So you have limited time, limited skills. You're skill poor, spelled poor wrong. You're skill poor and time poor. You don't have it. So depending on that, maybe you do. Some people do. Okay. So one set of people are skill poor and time poor. Okay. And another one have some skills and have more time than others. Okay. This is where we also discover potentiality. So what's going to help you get through is just a little bit of potential. So you might have some skills in your life that have helped you in creating content. For me, one of the skills that helped me in my previous before I started content was I DJ'd and I did public speaking. So that helps. If you're seeing other big creators out there, they started young, so they had a lot of time to learn because they didn't have much going on. All they did was content. They were young, so they had a lot of time. And they might have had some skills that helped them, whatever. So you might have skills and you might have some time to give you some potential, more or less, okay? Now, stage number 2 is you're just going to suck less. You're going to suck less. You might be able to get through scripts, okay, a little bit better now. You're using ChatGPT to help you write scripts. You can bang out some scripts, right? And don't worry, we're going to get to niche and content in a bit. I just want you to understand the creator journey, okay? Because if I was to recommend something to somebody is learn content first before you pick a business model. Because I didn't do that and I kind of juggled 2 things at once. And I really didn't settle in the fact that I sucked at content. I have to learn that first. I have to develop that skill before I can really dial in on my niche and offer. But nevertheless, listen. So you're just going to suck less. You might get a little bit better. You're going to start recording. You're going to start dialing some things a little bit. You're just going to suck less. You're still going to be confused about certain things. You might have some clarity, but you're going to be like, I really don't, I'm starting to get it, but it's just, you're just sucking less. Okay. And you suck less. And what you want to do is these 2 phases, you want to do a lot of learning and you want to make a lot of content for self growth, meaning you have to learn to detach from the outcome. Let it go. Let go of the imposter syndrome. Let go that your mama, your uncle, your friends from school see you online. Let go of the idea that you suck. Just establish yourself in that suckiness. Go with it and push forward and just create and learn like nobody's business. Just create. Even if you never post it, just keep creating, improving the lighting, the video, the scripts, understanding what a hook is, how to write a script, copywriting, how good lighting looks, what good content looks like. Start to be intentional about developing a keen sense for understanding by looking at what is a good content and what's not. Okay. Once you go through that for however long, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, okay, depending on your potential, you're going to get into a phase and you'll even recognize it. Wow. This is wow. I sucked, but I see that I suck. You're going to have an epiphany and you're going to begin to see or have an intuition, good content. It's going to start clicking and you become detached and you start to become what I call the fourth phase, strategic. For me, I've gone through some things where I've redefined my offer, redefined my ideal client, all that stuff throughout these journeys. But you start to become strategic. And then you determine to stick with a niche offer. And you also determine to make one piece of content at a time. And you also start to test. You start testing mode. You determine that, listen, I'm going to test content now and see what works. And you're also going to rely mostly on what works based on your niche offer and ideal client. Whereas before you were following every creator that the wind threw at you and you got so confused. This time you're unfollowing people. You're being more intentional. You're finding creators that are just maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of you to see what they're doing to actually improve and grow so that you can start growing. So you have a different understanding. And this is where I want to talk about picking your niche and what problems you want to solve. Niche and content around that niche. Because after going through these 4 stages, you've learned some things about yourself. So now you're going to pick a niche. And the easiest way to think about as niche is what problem to solve. Let's pick a hypothetical problem. Let's say you want to help let's say dads lose, and we're going to be very specific, lose 50 plus pounds to fit in their, let's pick a really cool problem, in their tuxedo for their marriage anniversary ceremony. That's the problem we want to solve. You say, man, isn't that like really narrow? Yes. Yep. That's how you want to be. And for this, since you picked a niche, now you need to create what's called a client avatar. You're going to make this person up. Name, age, demographics, desires, fears, pains, struggles. You're going to make this up. This is a real person. It's going to be real. Coffee they drink, entertainment, anything you can think of. You're going to write it all down. As many stuff, get as deep and as detailed as possible, because that's where your content ideas are going to come from. Your client avatar or ideal client persona. You will make content, research content, study content, write content, all your ideas, and you will make it for this person. Let's give him a name. Jeffrey. Jeffrey's who you're talking to. So when you show up on camera, you're talking to Jeffrey. You're not talking to the world. It's like Jeffrey sitting right here talking to you. And you will make it for Jeffrey every single time. Okay, you've picked your niche and you've picked the problem you want to solve, and you've created a client persona that's going to give you content ideas. So this would be called the health and fitness niche. Now that you've done that, you're going to create content around those problems that Jeffrey's having. And now you need to come up with a solution for his problem. Okay. And all the content you make will be identifying his problem, getting his attention, and then giving him little mini solutions to his problem in your content that ultimately leads him to your offer. Got it? So now you need to create an offer. 90-day 50-pound weight loss, mountain climbing I'm going to be very specific, endurance workout challenge or routine, because your mountain climbing workout routine has proven scientific basis to cause men 40s to lose 50 pounds. Got it? So there you have it. We've created an offer. You give that offer a price, right? You give it a price. You create what's called a funnel through content to take them from content to buying. And a funnel is website as well. Okay. So Instagram is a funnel. You create content, people like it, they get intrigued. Your ideal client goes on your profile, clicks on your website link that leads them to offer. Maybe they book a call, you get on a call with them and they buy. There it is, digital marketing. And like I said, the biggest issue people have is not the systems of funnel, it's content. So the next part of this video, I'm going to dive deeper into the content creation journey, because these 4 or 5 stages that I mentioned, it's just a matter of going through it. But as you get beyond these 4 or 5 stages, now you have to have intentionality and be strategic and be smart, because now you got to actually start thinking about building your business around content. So look out for the next part of this video, which will be the content creation journey or the content creator journey. All right. So hopefully this helped. Any question, comments, concerns, you know where to leave them. And until next time, I'll catch y'all later.